Good evening, everyone, and welcome to VSL Tier 2 for round 3 here at Miami. As you can see, we're loading into the lobby right now for the the first USG. I'm not sure if we have both Miami. Well, we definitely have Miami and Kota on the calendar. But all I know is that we are at Miami today. So the first potentially two American GPs happening tonight, and we're just loading into qualifying now. Let me just check that everything is working. Hopefully it is. Oh, I thought it was raining now. I think it's just a little bit cloudy. Let me just check the audio and all that's working. Hopefully it is. Yeah, it is. That is good. So, yeah, here we are then for the Miami GP. Let me get out the championship standings and all that. But yeah, a very overcast day here on the. In fact, was that rain? Has it just started raining? I think it might have. Well, I'll have to wait till we get on board with someone. Yeah, it has. So this could be a quick one lap and done qualifying session. In fact, so we're jumping straight into the action. Everyone surely is going to bomb it out of the track now because you want to get this lapping as fast as possible. And it's going to be Gareth, our first man out on track. I was just bringing up the championship standings. I'll run you through those while people are on outlap. So it's Gareth, the first one on track. So Hasselberg, after the first 2 rounds, leading the way on 53 points with a win in the first round, obviously. And yeah, quite a comfortable lead for him up front, actually, 19 points. And then we have our 3-way tie for P2 in the championship between Y-Rater, Acorn and Tony. Tony winning last time out. So that is a 3-way tie for second place. And then in P5 is Hotspeed on 32 points, so 2 points behind them. And then Gareth Sip on 30 points. And then Jordan in P7 on 25. And then everyone else is lagging a little bit behind. But yeah, let's see what can change by that today. But yeah, on board with Gareth, absolutely racing around. Everyone out on track already, apart from N89. So yeah, I'm going to imagine the rain is only going to get worse and they want to get their laps in now. So we'll bring up the... so Ryan Berry actually out on mediums. That could be quite a big mistake to go out on mediums in these sorts of conditions. It's not really what you want. But anyway, here comes Gareth to start his lap. And across the line, the clock starts to tick for our champion, our reigning champion. Coming through the first sector now, all seems pretty well and good. We'll go on board with him. Coming now into the fast left, right, left. Now this long left-hander, very easy to spin out. And he seems to get nicely over that curve on the exit, and it is a 30.8 in the first for Gareth. Let's go on board with Wire, see what he does. It's a 31.8, so really good first set there from Gareth. We'll stay on board with him. Well, yeah, we'll stay on board with him. And let's see what he can do. A second faster than Y-Rater in the first sector alone. That is incredible. Now we have N89 on track as well, joining him. Coming through the tight and twisty middle sector. This very difficult chicane, misses his apex on the turn-in. Not the best chicane there for Gareth. That could have cost him a little bit of time. Gets a decent exit though. It's a 1 minute 4.0. Obviously perfect. It's the first one through. We'll compare that to Y-Racer. What's Y-Racer going to be? It's a 1 minute 4.9. So he's gained a little bit back, but nowhere near enough to beat him. And the loss there. There we are on board with Gareth. One more braking zone to go. Hard on the brakes. Down into first gear. Very aggressive gear choice. Up into second early. Probably want a short shift. And there we go. The short shifts. Coming up to the line, it's going to be a 1:29, is it? 29.6 is our pole time for now. Let's see what Y-Racer going to do. Here comes Y-Racer, 30.5, so again quite a... Well, actually no, not actually that much. Back, and then Albert beats up. So Albert going on to P1, here we are on board with Ryan. Hasselberg goes P2, our championship leader. Now, what can Ryan do? I don't think it's going to be pole for him. Acorn goes 4th. Ryan goes 7th. Here comes Ryan Berry. Not a good lap, so those mediums proving to be a bad choice. of tyre, and I think it's too wet for anyone else to really set a competitive up. But Jordan, P4 for Jordan, a 29.7, pretty good luck for him, considering how late he set it compared to everyone else. Here comes Newgarden. DRS disabled, so there we go. These laps that you've now set are pretty much the best ones you're going to be able to get in for the entire session. So I don't expect the order to change too much now. So things playing really well into Albert's hands. Here comes N89, about to cross the line. It's going to be quite a way off. It's a 32.1. That's P10, only beating Ryan Berry on the medium. So the medium's proved to be a big mistake for Ryan Berry, who will find himself quite a way down the order, and Wyro's a corner a day, so clearly it's not going to dry up. So we could actually have quite a short qualifying session here, unless people want to go on the inters for some reason. Ryan Berry is on the lap here. Ooh, loses the car, and who's that? In fact, no, Wyro didn't manually retire, he's actually crashed. So, yeah, I thought he'd manually retired because it was raining, but no. Yeah, he has retired, and crashed and retired. And now Albert enters the pits. Everyone entered the pits there. You can see the remains of Y-Racer's front left on the track. So everyone coming into the pits now. I'm not sure if people will bother going out on inters or not. I don't think they'll be able to beat their lap times if they do. Or maybe Ryan Berry, because he is 8 seconds, well, a little bit over 8 seconds off. Oh no, sorry, my maths is awful. A little bit over 7 seconds off. So everyone back to the pits. Let's see what happens now with potentially going on to inters. Is anybody gonna? None of these are improving, so yeah, I expect them to all come back in, and that is exactly what they're doing. Ryan Berry, in fact, has carried on. He is 1.2 seconds down the first sector, and then now return to the pits. So we've got more with Ryan Berry, the only driver on track on medium tyres on a wet surface. So intriguing to see what he can do. And you can just see the lack of grip, no DRS, that got disabled about 2 minutes ago. And a lot of understeer in that AlphaTauri. It's got to be careful for these low speed corners, especially over these curves, not to lose the rear end and end up in that wall there like Y-Racer did. And ooh, just about keeping out of the wall there is Ryan Berry. He's the second down. I expect him to come back into the pits to save the car, because it is very dangerous to be staying out right now on these slick tyres. And we have Ryan in the Mercedes putting on the inters, and potentially coming back out on track soon. And a big lock up there into the final proper corner. And does he stick to the outside? Well, he's now going into the pits. So everyone now back into the pits. The dry running is over, and it's now on to the inters to see if anyone can improve. While people are coming on track, I will have a quick look at the constructors standings as well. So on the constructors front, it is Alfa Romeo leading the way on 68 points. So that is Acorn and Tony. Tony not here today actually, so that is a big opportunity for people to catch him in the drivers under constructors. He's having a good season so far as Tony, our race winner last week. And oh, that is a big hit into the wall there from Risky. Unlucky. Wow, no damage. Wow. How? What? How has he got away with no damage? That is crazy. And there he's gone again. Risky struggling on the intermediates, but let's carry on with our constructors rundown. Ferrari P2 on 61 points. They're 7 points behind, so a big opportunity here for Ferrari today. Red Bull on 51, then Haas on 32, Mercedes on 30, AlphaTauri 23, McLaren on 8, Alpine on 4, and Williams and Aston Martin are still looking for their first points this season. And neither Williams is here, so there won't be any points being scored for Williams, and Risky is the sole Aston Martin. So it's all down to him today to bring home points for the British team. So he needs to try and just close his car around. I'm not sure if he did get damaged. There was no visual damage from that collision, but there could very well still be damage. But Ryan in the Mercedes will be the first man to start a lap on the intermediates, and then we will get a good idea if there is room for improvement or not. It's not mega wet, it's just nice intermediate conditions, so if there is time on the track, it is there to be found. So starting a lap now, coming down towards turn 1. Gets his apex quite nicely in third gear. Ooh, gets a little bit oversteer on the exit of turn 1, through turn 2, now the long right-hander turn 3. And now a little bit of a straight down towards turn 4, 5 and 6. Misses apex in 4. Gets nice over the curve, maybe rides it a little bit too much, not enough ride height in that Mercedes maybe. And now for the long left, turn 6. He did run wide but didn't get invalid. And I think, yeah, 3 seconds down, time isn't there to be found. Their fastest laps have already been set, I'm pretty sure. Risky's crashed now as well, he's out of the session. Heavy on the brakes. For Ryan, misses apex a little bit, runs nearly wide, keeps it on the track though, so it's still valid. Now through the tight left-right chicane. His apex is alright, but you can just visually see it's not quick enough. It is not quick enough. 4.8 seconds down now, so yeah, definitely not going to improve. So we're just kind of driving around for the sake of it now. Down to second for the final corner. Now short shifting through 5th up into 6th and 7th across the line. It's a 36.7, so 5.9 off. So that means maybe Ryan Berry could improve. He did a 36.4 and Ryan just did a 36.7, so Ryan Berry is probably the only person that can improve, and obviously Hot Speed hasn't done the lap yet, so he needs to get a time on the board. Ooh, a little kiss of the wall there from the AlphaTauri. Gets his chicane all right, up to second, want to get good traction. Oh, not getting the traction. He's 1.1 down. Can he find more than that in the last? Revving out 7th gear. He hasn't got much ERS left, so maybe forgetting to turn it out of hot lap on the out lap. Now down to the final corner. First gear up to second. Have to turn out of the corner a little bit, so definitely not the best line for Ryan Berry, but coming out to the line now, it's not going to be an improvement for him. It's going to be... He's actually lost another 4/10 there in the last. What can Hot Speed do? He exits the final corner, stays in 4th, gets a good run. Can he beat Ryan Berry? Ooh, less than a 10th separating them. So Ryan Berry's up on the mediums on a wet track. He is less than a 10th faster than the inters of Hot Speed. What a coincidence. And just chance that they're that close together. Ryan Berry going for it again with minimal ERS. There is yellows in sector 1 and 2. I think that was Newgarden's maybe had a little bit of a spin. I don't know, maybe he's just slowing down and just put out yellows. But we have Albert, our pole position man, out on track. Newgarden goes straight on to get out of the way. And gives us a nice little mini flick spin. Now he's just parked it. Waiting for the Haas of Hot Speed to go by. And now he rejoins. Let's see, is Hot Speed up? Oh, a little bit of movement there from the Haas. Very cautious on the curves the drivers are being so far, especially through that chicane. You can really get over that inside curve. But they're playing it cautious. He's 1.4 down, so no improvement to be found on this lap from Hot Speed, so he's going to stay 12th for now. Ryan Berry not going to improve either. N89 is nearly 5 seconds down in the first. He got it 32 seconds down, so yeah, drivers not really finding any time. There you go, there's a bit more of an aggressive line through the chicane there from Ryan. But obviously, yeah, he's 6.5 seconds down. Let's see, is there any extra information we can have? Not really. We'll just watch them go around, I guess. So Ryan Berry on another lap. I didn't see if he was up in the first. I was having a quick look at something. But here he is now, come to the heavy braking zone. Now through the long right before a quick left and then the chicane. Ooh, very, very aggressive over that second curb there. Is he going to be up? I don't think he is. He is not. He's 2.7 seconds down. And Hot Speed has returned to the pit, so he could be strapping on a fresh set of inters. He needs to get up quickly though if he wants to get another lap. And I'm not sure if Ryan Berry's going to pit here or whether I think he might be charging the RS for another lap. So this could be Ryan Berry's final proper attempt at this. And here we go, Ryan Berry now opening the throttle, whacking on the ERS. Gareth is retired, so he has called it a day in P3. And now it is time for Ryan Berry to show us what he's got on these inters. A little bit loose on the exit of turn 1 and turn 2. Ooh, that AlphaTauri is not a happy bunny right now. That is sliding all over the place. Hot Speed is back out, so he'll go for it again. And I think Albert has spun on the exit of the final corner. He has. So our pole sit up. Having a few issues here in the wet. That is not looking good if it does stay wet. I'm not sure if it's wet for the race. We'll only find out when we do load in after this session. But Ryan Berry just coming through the middle sector now. No DRS to be activated down this straight like it would be if it was dry. Now heavy on the brakes down to probably second gear. And now up to third for this long right. He's going to hold it in second. So maybe he might struggle with traction here a little bit. He doesn't, he's doing well here. Ooh. Maybe a little bit too hot into the chicane, loses the road a little bit. Might cost him just a tiny bit of time, but he's still nowhere near improving. He's 2.1 seconds down, so I think we've got on board with Hot Speed because I think he has a little bit of time in this. Like Jordan's now retired, so there aren't going to be too many laps being set here at the end. It's just a shootout between Hot Speed and Ryan Berry for 11th and 12th. My Hot Speed even using very high gears here. Really adapting his driving style for the wet, and you can see it's giving him a lot more grip than what Ryan Berry had through that 1-2-3 section. Holding it 6, misses apex just a tiny bit, but he's driving really well here, Hot Speed. Keeping his car under control in these tricky conditions. Now the long left, we'll see what the time is saying over the first split. He is 3 tenths down, so it looks good, but not matching his previous first sector. He's still got some time to find if he wants to move up the grid. Peaking over 200 miles an hour down what would be a DRS straight. Down to 4th. So using higher gears than Ryan Berry. Ryan Berry was in second through here. So very different approaches from these two. And a lot of curb and aggressive line from the Haas. And what is the time going to be saying? He is still 3 tenths down, so he's pretty much matched his previous middle, but he has 4 tenths, just over 4 tenths to find if he wants to improve his position here in the last sector. He won't get another go at it. The checker flag is out, so it's just Ryan Berry and Hot Speed. Heavy on the brakes, down to 4th, gets it turned in nicely. That was a nice line there from Hot Speed on the throttle as quickly as he possibly can. And he loses it. That's going to be the lap over. He's not going to improve. And that is going to confirm Ryan Berry 11th. Hot Speed starting last for the Miami GP here in VSL Tier 2. Now it's just Ryan Berry coming into the final corner. And to cross the line to end this qualifying session, this drama-filled qualifying session inside the first 2 minutes, or 3-4 minutes even. And there we go, that is your lot. So it's Albert on pole. I have to say, in the early lap on the dries, getting the best out of everyone on that. Pretty much one-shot qualifying. We had one shot last week for the sprint, and we pretty much had it again here. Only time for one lap on the dries, but it's Albert who capitalises and takes pole position here in Miami, followed by our championship leader on the front row in Haslager, and then Gareth third, Jordan fourth, and then quite a big gap, 6 tenths between Jordan in fourth and Acorn, our man in fifth, and then Y Racer joining him in sixth. Then Risky, the solo Aston Martin in seventh, Ryan eighth, Newgard in ninth. N89 rounding out the top 10. Ryan Berry choosing an interesting strategy to qualify on the mediums in 11th, and then Hotspeed, the only person on Inters in P12 rounding out the grid. So we'll see if it is dry or whether the rain has come back for the race. And then we will have our 2-minute break before the drive is ready up and we can get this Miami GP underway. So we wait to load in. Will be interesting to see the strategies. If it's dry, I imagine we'll be seeing a lot of hards and mediums and not many softs, because the softs, if I remember correctly, absolutely cook around here in just a few laps, and it is not a very nice experience. And it is looking dry with maybe the sun peeking through the clouds just a little bit, so the rain could be holding off for, if not the entire race, at least a little while. So let's see. The drive's only had one shot at it on a damp track in qualifying. Now they have a fully dry track for the race, having to adapt their approaches now and relearn the circuit. Maybe having got used to wet braking zones and lines, they now need to readjust to the dry conditions. But I'm going to, as usual, I'll be back in about 1 minute, ready for the start of this Miami GP. So we should be readying up relatively soon, I imagine. And then we will get going for the Miami GP. I expect to see mainly hards and mediums, as I already said. And maybe, I don't know, maybe some softs. We do normally see some bit left of field. I think that's the term, left of field strategies. So we'll just have to wait and see. And maybe safety cars can play a little bit of a role as well. We normally get 1 or 2 every race, so that'll be something to keep an eye on as well. But can Hastager extend his championship lead, or will one of the 3-way tied second place drivers make a move? Well, it won't be Tony because he's not here, but can Y-Racer or Acorn make a move? Or can Gareth get his season back on track? He'll definitely be looking to improve 6th position in the championship. That is not really where he'll want to belong after, making it look easy last season, I guess you could say. Winning quite a few races, and the championship wrapped up pretty early. But now we have drivers readying up, so only 20 seconds to find out 20 seconds until we find out what tyres people have gone for and what strategies we are expecting to see here tonight. So let's have a look then. So the formation lap gets underway, and we have medium and hards all around, no softs on the grid. So Albert in P1 going for the hards. This could be interesting with how Albert on the slower tyres, having to hold off Haslager and Gareth, who have both gone for the mediums, and then 4th and 5th Jordan and Acorn, both on the hard as well. Y-Racer risky, so it's basically from 2nd onwards, it's nearly 2 by 2, just hard mediums, hard mediums, hard mediums. But yeah, so this should be interesting. I think, is it a 50-50 split? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So no, it's not quite a 50-50 split of hards and mediums. There's a few more hards than mediums, but it was quite evenly split for strategy. So we'll have to see how things shape up. shape up, shape up, shape up. I think it's shape up later on in the race. So Albert, I imagine, will want quite a fast formation lap, as you don't want to get those hards too cold. You want to keep some decent temperatures in them for the 29 laps in Miami we are about to enjoy. And there you can see the predicted strategy powered by AWS. It is hard medium, unless you want to go hard medium soft, which definitely would not be the fastest strategy. It is, if you can, definitely a one stop. And I think we need to have a little bit of a prediction of how long will that bollard there survive. I think it will be gone after the first lap. I don't think that bollard is lasting long at all. But see Albert here extending his advantage out front just a little bit. And now back in the pack up. All of them are weaving viciously down the circuit. There we go, nice camera angle of that there. Nobody apart from that AlphaTauri really going in a straight line. He's doing a little Kimi Räikkönen moment there. Is Ryan Berry. And now he joins the weaving frenzy coming to the final corner. Let's see how these drivers will fare with our usual antics when lining up on the grid. That is a interesting helmet there for Hassler. Is that actually Sainz's helmet? No, it's not. It kind of looked like Sainz's helmet there for a second, so I was getting a bit confused. I'm wondering how he'd done that, but no, it isn't. Here we go now. People coming onto the grid. Getting those last few weaves in, those burnouts. Get as much temperature in the tyres as possible. And now Albert, lining up on the pole position spot, the one they all want to be on. And ooh, that's not a good start for him. He messes up the lining up a little bit. And you can see there on board with Hassler how far back he is now. But here come the drivers at the back. That is a dodgy Red Bull. We normally have one Red Bull going a bit crazy, lining up to the grid. But here we go now. The final car lining up. Hopefully we get a better camera angle than this. We'll go on board with Albert. We get a good view of the lights. And as the lights come on now, it's 4. It's 5 lights here in Miami. And the lights go out. And that was a good start there for Gareth. A really good launch. And Hassler, in fact, gets a better launch than Albert. Albert's had an awful start. He's down to P3 before we even get to turn 1. And that is a Ferrari down the inside, absolutely dive bombing it. That's N89, completely missing his braking point and piling into a bunch of cars. That is not what you want to be seeing. And I'm not sure how many people have damage. I did see a wing or two flying off. But it's Hassler going to lead Gareth in P2, so the medium's working really well for those two. Jordan now up to 3rd, Albert down to 4th. A horrible start for him. I wonder if he has damage from that contact with the Ferrari there on the opening corner. N89 down to last place. I mean, that will definitely be looked at by the stewards. That was pretty awful from what I saw, but we'll ignore that for now. Here's Albert now getting pressured by Risky in the Aston Martin. No DRS enabled yet. You have to wait for the opening 3 laps until that gets enabled. But Risky's going to try and go around the outside of our pole sitter, who's already down to 5th. If he loses this position, they're still side by side, and Risky's got that position done. Has he? Yeah, he has. Albert not able to hold around the outside, so an awful start for our pole man. And now I'll have to look behind him for Acorn, and ooh, that's Albert. There you go, there's the bollard. I told you it would happen. And that is Albert now down to 5th. Risky, really good start to 4th. And then we have a yellow flag set to 2. That is Newgarden round. He's clipped the wall or something. He is now down to last position and having a little spin. But it's Hassler with a 1.3 second advantage coming to the end of the first lap over Gareth. Both of them jumping Albert before we even got to turn 1. Very good start for those two. Jordan up to 3rd. And Jordan's actually going to be in the pits. He must have got damage from that contact with an 89. That is not what you want to be seeing. So that is Jordan into the pits after a great start. He's not going to fall all the way to the last place after that front wing change. So that's Albert back up into 4th, and everyone else behind up 1 position as well. So it's medium 1, 2, 3 now. So that clearly showing the advantage the mediums hold at the start of each GP. But they do have to suffer with the hards, the warm up of the hards even, come their pit stops. And that is when the hards will flourish. So Albert now seems to have regained composure a little bit after a wobbly first lap. And now he wants to be applying the pressure back onto Risky and get himself back into one of those podium positions. Risky holding on to DRS, the 1 second DRS window of Gareth quite well. Gareth, however, not able to do the same with Hassler. Hassler has pulled a nice gap already. 1.9, maybe about to breach 2 seconds is the Ferrari. He is really pulling away. This is a Silverstone-esque performance from him after that win in Silverstone, where he performed really, really well. But now DRS about to be enabled. There's some slipstreaming going on further down the field. Ryan burning some ERS towards the final braking zone, and one of probably the better overtaking opportunities once DRS gets enabled on the track. Probably that and the kinky straight. That maybe is a little bit misworded. The kinked straight. I think I'll rename that. Haslager setting the fastest lap there on lap 2. 32.2 I think that was, and there you go, DRS enabled by the race control. And Gareth has just about managed to get out of DRS over Risky in fact. So this could play into the hands of the Alpine Albert, who has pulled away from Acorn as well. Y-Racer though putting the pressure on. So these mediums are working well, and N89 has gone on to Inters. N89 is on the intermediates. That is not what you want to be seeing. I'm not sure if that's a mistake or what, but we'll ignore that. And now Y-Racer with the DRS open now, about to close in to Acorn. This could be a change of position for P5 here. Goes to the inside and late on the brakes. They both brake pretty much at the exact same point. And Acorn manages to hold it round the outside. So really good driving there from the Alfa Romeo. What can the Red Bull do? He's going to be stuck behind now for the next few corners. There is not an overtaking spot here. But he has a really good chicane all the way up that Alfa Romeo's diffuser. And now for the next straight, he has a poor exit. It gets a bit of oversteer there, I think. And now the overtaking opportunity is gone, I believe. It is. There is not enough straight to make the move unless he wants to be really ambitious on the brakes, which he's not quite feeling. And it's risky because he's on the back of Gareth here. So Gareth may be making a mistake there. He's lost a little bit of time to Haslager. I think Haslager makes a mistake of his own. As that is the fastest up there for Risky, the 32.0. And Gareth missing his apex of turn 1 just a tiny bit. And there we have Acorn and Y-Racer. Acorn making the move. Well, making the defensive move even. It's Y-Racer trying to overtake. Ooh, he's all up the back of the Alfa Romeo, but defending really well. Acorn holds on to P5 for now. Jordan with the fastest laps, so showing the pace he has. And 89 thankfully has pit and put on some dry tyres, so it must have just been a mistake from the Ferrari. Not the best start to a race for him. And now coming down the straight, beautiful helicopter shot, cut short there, unfortunately. I don't think he's going to be close enough for a move. Will Y-Racer? He's already burned through his DRS, so he could struggle now to make that move on Acorn. But this little train forming with Gareth, Risky and Albert. That's a nice chicane there for Albert. And Haslager's made another mistake. There you go, look at that gap, it's now 1.0. It could dip below a second here, and that could give Gareth the DRS he's been wanting. But here comes Risky. He's not burning, he's just using the DRS. And look at this straight line speed from the Aston Martin. He's going to have the move done, and that's going to be Risky off its P2, is it? He's not late enough on the brakes. Who's going to emerge first? They're going to be side by side. Who's got the better traction? It looks like it could possibly be Gareth. He's also got the DRS here. And I think that's going to be Gareth holding on to P2 for now. And that's Risky. He can go all the way around the outside of turn 1. He brakes late, but Gareth shuts the door nicely. And that is good defending from Gareth. But now they've lost all that time. They gained back on Haslager. There's also a battle going on here between Jordan getting past New Garden. And look at the traction of the Alpha Tauri. So many A's in the on the grid right now, and that is Albert and Risky. That is not a normal overtaking spot, but Albert goes for it anyway. Oh, that's contact. That is contact. A little bit of wheel banging on the straight, nothing too major though. Both have DRS, and that is Albert slotting in front. But now Risky will get the slipstream. Can he get down the inside? He's not going to be late enough on the brakes, and that is going to be Albert up to P3. So now he can have a go at Gareth. So it's gone from attack to defence for Risky in the matter of a sector or two. And look at that chicane from Albert. That is a really nice chicane. He had to, in fact, brake, I think, to avoid the back of Gareth. As Gareth now struggling. He's lost nearly 3 seconds to Haslager. He was a second behind a lap ago. He's now nearly 3. So a poor lap here from Gareth could put him under pressure. And in fact, it's Risky putting the pressure on Albert here. Can the Aston Martin go around the outside? Look at the traction. That was really nice traction, and the medium's really paying off for the Aston Martin. But here comes Albert. Is he going to be able to get Risky back into turn one? It doesn't look like he has the straight line speed. And he doesn't. He's going to have to slot in behind. So now it's Risky back into P3. Overtakes happening all over the place. And here's Acorn and Wire Racer resuming their battle from a few laps ago. And ooh, Acorn squeezes Wire Racer off. I think that was a bit of a bullyish move there from Wire Racer. He lets Acorn go. I think he realised that maybe that move wasn't quite on. He made that a bit late, but all is resolved with good sportsmanship there from Wire Racer. And now the battle can continue with the addition of Ryan, who is closing in behind on the hard tyres. It's the Mercedes, and back towards this battle for P3. He's not going to be close enough to make any moves here. And Acorn 4 seconds off the back of this. Gareth having a bit of a better lap now. He's closed that gap to Haslager by a few tenths this lap. Risky having a really good race so far, considering he hasn't got a point yet this season. He's really performing well. Is the Aston Martin. He's now burning the ERS and open the DRS. This is going to be an easy move here. He's going to blitz past Gareth on the straight. Gareth left standing. So that is crazy straight line speed there from the Aston Martin. That is incredible straight line speed. Unless Gareth has none. Oh, and that's the top of the wall there for Gareth. It's that damage potentially. Maybe not hard enough contact to result in damage, but don't want to be doing that too many times. It's risky now, sets the fastest lap. It's Acorn and Wire Racer though battling still. I think Wire Racer's finally got the move done. He's flushing though, he hasn't got much ERS. And Acorn go around the outside. No, they both go deep. And that is Wire Racer up into P5. Now he needs to set about closing this 5 second gap. And Ryan also is on the back of Acorn now. The gap out front is coming down, so Haslager is making a few mistakes here. He seems to have the ultimate pace, but the consistency may be favouring the people behind. Albert struggling to straighten that speed a little bit, and here comes Gareth trying to attack back at Risky. He is gaining, but I don't think he's gaining enough to make a move. He's not. He's going to have to sit behind him. And Risky in fact goes deep. That could open the door for Gareth maybe. He wasn't quite close enough to capitalise. Acorn and Wire Racer are still battling. Only 2 tenths separating them. And a good chicane from Wire Racer could give him a little bit of breathing room here. And maybe put pressure on Acorn from Ryan. So pretty even gaps separating Risky and Gareth and Albert as they continue to try and catch Haslager. And Acorn's gone deep. Acorn has gone deep, and that has allowed Wire Racer through. In fact, that was Acorn trying to overtake Wire Racer, sorry. And Acorn dumbing to the inside forces Wire Racer into defence, and that could force Wire Racer deep. Good dummy there from Acorn to put Wire Racer off a little bit, but he's unable to capitalise on pressuring that mistake. Jordan setting another fastest up. He's showing he's got pace here today. But really unfortunate, in fact, with that damage on that one through no fault of his own. And the gaps towards the front still pretty similar. Not close enough to make any moves. What about Ryan? He gets off the ERS. And Acorn is gaining here on Wire Racer. Is he going to go for a dive on down the inside? He is. Wire Racer going to have to leave the room and try and stick it around the outside. And he's done it really well. Can Acorn keep his front wing there? No, he can't. He gets shut the door on him a little bit. And that is Wire Racer going to hold the position for at least another 3-4 corners. Now here we go again. Acorn, oh, he loses the back end, and that is Ryan hitting the back of him. A really weird camera angle here. Now, could that possibly be damage for Ryan? It's no visual damage, but there could definitely still be damage to that Mercedes. That maybe was quite heavy contact. It half spun Acorn nearly. And oh, he goes deep again. Does Acorn? He needs to avoid the wall. That is so close to the wall, and that could allow Ryan. Does Acorn have the DRS? He's definitely not within it now, but was he within it over the detection point? He wasn't. Ryan has it. Is Ryan going to go for the move? He is. Really late on the brakes. The Mercedes, they're side by side. And Acorn holds position for now, but Ryan is going to have the run through turn 3. Side by side now towards turn 4. It's going to be a really difficult move around the outside for Ryan. He decides to back out, but he knew the move wasn't on. And now he's going to wait for the first DRS straight. Or the second DRS straight even. And this is all allowed Y-Racer to build a huge gap in front of these lot. And in fact, I'll put 2 tenths behind, but no move to be made. And now Ryan Berry could be joining the picture. Here comes Ryan. Is he going to launch it again? He would try, but he's not late enough on the brakes. Acorn misses his apex just a little bit though. And the battle continues for P6. Good chicane from them both. Acorn losing the rear end, but he is struggling here as the Alfa Romeo. Early on the ERS for Ryan, but Acorn still gets a really good exit. And now opens DRS. No ERS at all for any of these lot. It's purely down to the DRS right now. And he is not close enough to go for the move. Acorn though, he's struggling on the brakes into that pop in the corner. He keeps going a little bit deep and costing himself time. So Ryan opens DRS once more. He's going to go for a similar move to last lap down the inside of turn 1. No, he's decided to be smart about it. Ooh, nearly hitting the back of Acorn. So close to contact there. That was really, really close. And luckily, Ryan avoiding the back of the Alfa Romeo. But now Albert is all over the back of Gareth here. So maybe the hards starting to come into play. And look at this. He's going to blitz past Gareth on the straight. Gareth doesn't seem to have the greatest straight line speed. He does have the RS open, so you would expect his straight line speed to be pretty good. Now he's burning to try and get back past the Alpine. He's going to lay on the brakes. He is, and oof, that is contact. Our Gareth nearly half spins, but manages to regain control of his Mercedes before losing any major amount of time. And now that is Albert after P3. And he can set his sights on Risky in front. The hards starting to come into play now. And if we look a little bit further back, the train is beginning to grow. It's now got Acorn, Ryan Berry and Hotspeed all involved, all 4 on hards. So this should be their prime moments of the race in these next 3 or 4 laps when they are fresher than the mediums. Well, better nick than the mediums even. But out front, Risky has closed that gap to Haslag. And who's that going deep? That's Y-Racer gone really deep. He's had to flick spin it around, and I think that is right into the wall as well. People really struggling with the braking here into the final corner, and that is going to be Y-Racer. Spitz, has he hit the wall? He hasn't. He's just gone really deep and lost about 10 seconds maybe. Maybe not that much, but definitely more than 5. And it was Ryan as well going deep, and he definitely got really close to the wall and hot speed on his rejoin. So absolute drama there in the final corner. That's given Ryan Berry a few positions, and now Acorn as well. He is up into P5. People really, really struggling with that final corner braking. You've seen Acorn go deep a few times, but Y-Race completely going way off the track and having to flick spin it around in the runoff. And he has decided to pit for hard tyres. He's going 19 laps on the hards here at the end. And it's Albert now, half a second behind Risky for P2. He's got 33% ERS. Risky has 27. So the medium runners, we've seen our first one in the box. Will we see any responses from the others? Nice apex there for Albert. He seems to be really in control right now. Newgarden getting past Y-Racer. Y-Racer maybe struggling with the warm up a little bit. Have we got any medium runs into the pits? We do. Gareth is in. Very cautious on the pit entry. Really, really cautious. That's going to cost him a second or 2 maybe. That was very, very cautious with Gareth. So we want to come out in that nice clean air between Jordan and Newgarden. Albert still pressuring Risky in front. Gareth bolting on his set of mediums. Hard, sorry. Not mediums. And in fact, he's going to come out in this train just behind Jordan. Now Jordan has pit, so if he wanted to try a very, very risky strategy, he could try and go the entire race on mediums, but I'm 99% sure that will not work. So I expect Jordan to be pitting again during this race for potentially another set of mediums. I can't quite remember what he started on. I may quickly. Well, no, I'll leave it. I was going to check the race direct to see what he started on, but we'll just wait and see if he pits or not, and we'll have a look at what he goes on to. And now Risky has that gap out front, down below a second, so he should have DRS now. Should be Aston Martin in P2. Let's have a look. He does have DRS. That will open around right now. There you go. So the rear wing open on the back of that Aston Martin. Hasselhoff doesn't have much DRS either to defend with, so things could be about to get very interesting towards the front. And I expect at least one of these guys to come in. And it's going to be Risky pitting, going for the undercut on Haslager. And now Albert has been released. He can push now, push hard. Can the Alpine? He's got a 1.4 second gap to Haslager in front. And is there any major battles going on behind? Not really. Gareth, in fact, has been overtaken by Hot Speed as he, or has Jordan got past Hot Speed? I can't quite remember what the order was before, but where is Risky going to come out? He's going to come out way in front of Gareth. Gareth all the way back here. Where is Risky? He's come out in front of this entire train. So Risky had a really good in-lap, while Gareth has had a really, really bad out-lap. This is a major shake-up to the order here. Although it wasn't on track, because Risky was in front of Gareth anyway. The gap is huge. It's like at least a 5-second gap between the Aston Martin and the Mercedes. Now out front, Albert has closed that gap below a second to Haslager, so he will have the DRS, although I expect Haslager to come in this lap. In fact, he might not get the DRS. Haslager might have just got that gap over a second. Let's have a look. Yeah, he doesn't have DRS. Haslager has managed to pull that gap just enough. And here we have Gareth going for the move on Hot Speed. He gets the move done nicely. Now up into P8 for the reigning champion. This definitely isn't where he'll want to be come the end of the race. And let's have a look. Haslager is coming in. Haslager is into the box. Now where will he come out? Has Risky managed to perform the undercut? He's coming under a little bit of pressure from Acorn, but I think his tyres will be up to temperature now. He can focus on pushing. Out the final corner. Where is Haslager? He's just left his pit box. And now he'll be trundling at 50 mile an hour to the end of the pit lane. And now he's crossed the line, coming out of the pits. He does have tyre warm-up to worry about, so he comes out about, I'd say that's about a second and a half in front. But the tyres are going to be freezing in this first sector. We'll go on board with him, just see how little grip he has. It doesn't look too bad. The understeer is there. It'll be this long left, I imagine he'll lose the most. New guy to pick up a penalty. So that gap down to 1.1. 1.0 now. And Haslager is burning, so he is extending the gap now. Gareth on the back of his teammate Ryan. Will there be some cheeky team orders here? New guy into the pits as well. He will come out close to an 89, I think. So, has Haslager managed to get his tyres up to temperature? I think he's still got that gap over a second. It just dipped below for about 1 mini sector, but it's gone back over now. And Risky doesn't have DRS. And Albert into the pit, so he's going to go for a long stint on the mediums. And he will probably come out between Risky and Acorn, given that Acorn doesn't pit here. So he leaves his pit box, the Alpine, just as Haslager crosses the line. And that gap up front now, 8 tenths. And Albert is going to come out a little bit behind these two, I think. Where is he? In fact, there's Albert. Has he jumped Risky? It's going to be side by side. And Risky's going to get the move. Albert will need to warm up his tyres a little bit here in this first sector. And that could in fact give Haslager the opportunity to extend that gap back over a second and get Risky back out of his DRS. A good exit there for Risky. Doesn't gain the time he needs. Albert is within a second, so he can warm up his tyres down the straight. And focus. Acorn hasn't put yet, neither has Ryan Berry. And Gareth, still, he's got past his teammate Ryan, but he's only in P7, and he's quite a way off these front three who have all pit. So it's looking like the best possibility for our reigning champion is P4 right now. No Tony tonight, no, he is away, so the man joint P2 in the standings, not his. That gives everyone else an opportunity to gain on him, obviously. But Risky now, looking to do an absolutely amazing job and put pressure on Haslager for the race win here. Haslager, our championship leader, what will he be thinking? Obviously, it is only round 3, still a long way to go in this championship, but will he have his championship cap on, or will he be full guns blazing for the race win? You can see there the light flashing, whereas Risky is on nearly 50% ERS. In fact, he is now on 50% ERS after that braking zone. So favour Risky, I'd have to say. He's on 1 lap older tyres, and obviously Albert is on medium, so he'll have the superior grip for now. Hot speed into the pits for his one and only pit stop. Now coming through the first sector. About 7-8 tenths separating Haslager and Risky out front. Haslager looked to run a little bit wide there. I wonder if that would be a warning. That corner is a bit iffy on whether it gives you a warning or not, but look at this. Albert is flying right now. Purple first sector. He has the DRS. Risky's not burning. He just has really good straight line speed. We saw that when he was overtaking Gareth. He absolutely flew past without using any ERS. And you can see there from him defending. I know he did have DRS as well, but you would maybe expect Albert to catch with a double slipstream, but he was absolutely stationary compared to the Aston Martin. And now the Aston Martin putting pressure on the Ferrari. A little bit of a train forming behind Acorn once again as well. And now he is burning. What is Albert? 5% ERS. And look at that gap. That gap is coming down visually really fast. Yellow's in sector 1. That is Newgarden round. Newgarden facing backwards in sector 1. So it's not been the best day for him. It's not been the best day for Red Bull in general. P9 and P11, that's definitely not going to be wanting coming into this race. But this battle out front is really spicing up. So now Acorn and Jordan, so Jordan wasn't going to try and go the full race on the mediums, which is a little bit of a shame. I'd like to try that, but it was probably impossible. He'll go into another set of mediums, so he must have started in the hard. Here's Albert though, right on the back of Risky. Can you get a better exit than the Aston Martin? No, Risky seems to have the superior exit right now. He's just saving up ERS as the Aston Martin as well. But here comes Albert, in fact. Albert's burning. Oh no! That was very close to contact. Perfect amount of room left by Risky. Aggressive but fair racing between these two. Is Risky trying to go around the outside? He's not. And in fact, Haslager goes deep. And this could allow Albert to have a challenge for the race lead. It's not quite going to happen there. But if he can stick close behind the Ferrari, though he goes deep in the chicane, this could be drama into the final corner if he gets a good exit here. But Haslager gets a really good exit. Is Albert going to burn? He's not. So Risky, still just saving up that ERS. I'm not sure when he's going to decide to use it, but it's not going to be right now. But Haslager in a very weak position in the ERS side of things. You know, I guess when you're winning the race, you can't really be complaining. Where else would you rather be? Very fast lap times. They're in the 31s is Albert. Ryan Berry in P4 at the minute, although he's just coming to pits. So that's now Gareth up into P4. He is 8.6 seconds behind, so he needs these lot to battle hard, or a safety car if he wants to catch these lot. I need a quick sip of my drink. And Haslager runs deep, just I'm taking a sip of my drink. Everything seems to happen when I'm taking a sip. But now Albert only 2 tenths behind. Is he going to burn for the race lead? He can see the light flashing on the back of the Ferrari, so he knows he hasn't got much ERS. There's drama going on everywhere. There's moves happening further down the field, but there's a move for the lead, and we need to see that. It's Albert to the outside, the pole sitter. He's going to try and hang it all the way around the outside. He's going to do it. That's Albert into the lead of the Miami GP. Haslager down to second, and now Albert needs to run for the mountains. He needs to build that gap before those mediums wear, and that is him into the lead. Haslager down second, and now Risky will be licking his lips. He's burning the ERS now, but there was also moves going on further down the field for P6. I think there was Jordan coming out side by side with Acorn, or coming out just in front, in fact. I did see the graphics change in the battle. We were busy watching that battle lead. In fact, Risky is going down the inside of Haslager. So this could be 2 positions lost for the Ferrari. Started the lap in P1, and he's going to end it in P3. That is him down 2 positions. And Risky having an incredible drive for Aston Martin, and himself up in P2, the highest hard runner. And can he hold on to the back of Albert? It's going to be a huge challenge, because those mediums seem a very, very superior tyre right now. And that is Ryan into the pits as well. That's going to be Jordan up to 5th after having to make an extra pit stop than everyone else. This really is an incredible drive from Jordan. He's had a front wing change, and he just did the fastest lap there. He's had a front wing change and an extra pit stop, and he's still P5, and not that far off the lead really when you think about it. About 26 seconds. That is pretty much the front wing change. So he does have the pace to win this race, I think. But obviously, unfortunately, involved in that lap 1 collision with M89. And oh, that's Haslager round, and he's lost his front wing. Haslager has lost his front wing. He's going to have to box, and that could, well, it's not could, that will gift Gareth P3. So Gareth up into the podium positions, and that will probably give Jordan 4th as well. So Haslager's race 2 laps ago was looking like a possible win, and now he's got to worry about top 8, top 9, because he's going to have to pit for a new front wing, although he will be able to go into the mediums to the end. So how things can change in Formula 1. And here in VSL, it was looking so good 5 minutes ago, and now it's really not looking good for the Ferrari. Into the pits he comes. I imagine it will be mediums for him, and the front wing change. It will be. Whereas Jordan's definitely going to get him. I think all of these are easily going to get him. It could, he could maybe come out behind Hot Speed. There he is then, leaving the pit box. Hot Speed just exiting the final corner. I think Hot Speed is going to get him here quite easily. And there goes Hot Speed past Haslager. So that is Haslager down to P. In fact, no, I was completely wrong. But the Hot Speed could get him here with the warm hot tyres. No, it's going to be Haslager out in P8. So he's got some work to do now. 7 seconds to gain to the train in front. Oh, I say train. The 2-car train in front. But in fact, is Hot Speed going to go for it? In fact, that's Ryan Berry going for a move on Y Racer round the outside. Ooh, that's a bit like he was heading towards the wall, and he gets the move done way before the corner. So that is Ryan Berry after P6 on the fresh mediums compared to Y Racer on 9.5 hard. So he's going quite away on the hard tyres. Here's the Red Bull. So Ryan Berry working his way past, and now on to P6. So good day for AlphaTauri at the minute. Hot Speed didn't get past Haslager. He is 7.5 tenths behind. And you imagine that Haslager will continue to pull away and hunt down the car in front. The gap out front, while we're talking about gaps, is 3.2, so that is extending. I think this could be Albert's race. After getting a really good pole position, then an awful first half, he's managed to work his way back up the field into P1. Y Racer trying to hold on to DRS, but he doesn't seem to have the pace on Ryan Berry on those fresh mediums. And that's going to be Ryan Berry after P6 and pulling away. Now can he catch Acorn in front? 1.7 is the gap, so we'll keep an eye on that. There's not really too many battles going on right now. Hot Speed still relatively close to Haslager, but I expect Haslager to start to pull away soon. Hot Speed burning the last of the DRS to try and stick with him. They will get the DRS, so that will allow him to close up just a little bit. get that gap to about 5 tenths, I imagine. 6 tenths even. Now through the long right, Hot Speed hugging the inside. As Haswell goes for a wider approach. Good chicane from the both. And Hot Speed will get a DRS once more. Although Haswell is burning also. And in fact he nearly gets out of DRS there. That was a very, very quick on the straights, that Ferrari. And we are already on lap 22, only 7 laps to go in this race. Or 7.5 laps. And then 89 is in fact about to be lapped, so he'll want to try and avoid that for as long as he can in case there is a safety car. You really don't want to be a lap down if that does happen. But Hot Speed is sticking with Hasweiler really well right now, especially considering Hasweiler is on 4 lap pressure mediums. Ryan Berry has closed that gap just a little bit to Acorn in front. So if he continues to do that, he could potentially catch before the end of the race. Hot Speed now completely out of VRS. What about Hasweiler? He's on about 9-8%. Coming through the middle sector where you will regain most of your energy throughout the laps. There isn't really anywhere to use it. Oh no, that's Haslager gone again, and there goes his front wing again. Haslager has really, really ruined his race here in the space of 5 laps. He's lost his front wing twice, and he's going to have to pit again. This is going to cost him. He's going to come out P10. He won't really be under too much pressure unless it happens again from the cars behind. But that's going to be Haslager back to the pits. In fact, Y-Race is into the pits now. Why is Y-Racer pitting? He's not getting a front wing change. He's just pitting for softs. Why? Very, very odd strategy here from Y-Racer, but both Y-Racer and Haslager going on to the soft tyres. And that promotes Ryan up to P8 and Hot Speed 7th. So those two gaining from others' misfortunes. And Y-Racer back out on track. He will be about 7-8 seconds behind Ryan. So he will have some work to do if he wants to catch, and the softs do really drop off around here after just 3-4 laps, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, big work to do for these two who have just pit. Ryan Berry, now the closest guy to the car in front, 1.3 seconds to Acorn. Getting a bit loose there on the exit, that's going to cost him a little bit of time, about a 10th. Maybe a little bit more, as Wyatt Acorn seems to have superior straight line speed to the AlphaTauri, as he's gained nearly 2.5 tenths on the straight alone without using any battery from what I saw. And Ryan Berry is a little bit deep as well, so that's not going to help his cause. And he loses it on the exit at the final corner. That's going to cost him even more. So people struggling with traction around here. It's quite a rear limited circuit. You do tend to struggle just a little bit, especially with worn tyres, but these tyres aren't especially worn, only 6 lap old in Ryan Berry's case. But yeah, definitely a track you need to keep your concentration at maximum all the time to avoid mistakes. Look at that gap though, Gareth now 10 seconds behind Risky. He doesn't seem to have the pace here today. He's just not been as fast as the cars in front, but faster than the cars behind. So he's found himself in a little void, either 10 seconds either way, so he is in no man's land right now. And Albert has now lapped N89, you can see him there behind him. So that is N89's race ruined, even if there is a safety car. That's unfortunate for him after having his adventures earlier on with the intermediates and the missed braking point, I imagine it was. But yeah, no real battles on track right now. The closest gap is 2.7 seconds, 2.6 between Ryan Berry and Acorn. So unless that battle hots up, I think this is potentially going to be our finishing order. but we definitely can't complain. We have had major battling throughout the entire race so far. So these lot have put on a great show here today. But it looks like Albert is going to come out on top if he can hold on to these tyres for the final 5 or 4.5 laps. As Risky is only 4 seconds behind, so unless those tyres do drop off massively, he's not going to be able to gain. Although he does have quite a lot of the ice and he's using it now. He's gained half a second on that straight, so huge time gains as Wyre sets the fastest lap with a 29.9. So sub 1 minute 30 here in the race. That is pretty good for Y Racer. I'll also get him an extra point as Haslager now goes and beats it by 2 tenths with a 29.7. So a little bit of a quality session for these two now. Haslager does have the space behind him to pit and go for it on another fresh set if he feels like it behind, but Risky burning a little bit more now. That gap about to come under 3 seconds. It dips down to 3.0. And that is exactly what NA9 in fact that is. That's not Haslager. And into the pits comes Newgarden, so he's going to go for the fastest lap as well. So we're going to have four cars here fighting out for the fastest lap, all on the soft tyres. But Newgarden's coming in for a new wing, so he is going to be fitting a new one on the front of that car. And it is Y Racer up on his time. He is not, he's 9 tenths down, so he's not going to be able to get the fastest lap. As out front Albert maintains that gap at about the 4 second margin. We have yellows in sector 1. I think that was maybe just a few cars letting some cars through that were on the lap ahead. But Newgarden only 6 tenths behind N89 here, so these two could have a little scrap for 11th place. Newgarden had to change his front wing there. And that was a little bit of a moment for N89, I'm pretty sure. He opens the ice. He did have a full battery coming onto this straight. He's burning quite a lot down this straight. He's not going to be close enough to go for a move, but just sit behind and wait for the opportunity into the final corner for Newgarden right now. Needs to get his chicane right. Very, very cautious with the chicane, not taking as much curb as you can. Now, you want to get the traction down well. And Risky's pitting. Why on earth is Risky pitting? Has he hit the wall? What is going on? Gareth is now going to get promoted up to P2. Has Risky hit the wall? No, he's not. He's just pitting for softs. What? Why? He's going to lose potentially P3 here as well. I think he'll hold on to P3, but why is Risky pitting? There was no need for that pit stop unless I'm missing something obvious. I feel like that is really silly from Risky. He hasn't had a front wing change, so he doesn't have any damage. He's just decided to pit. And we have a spinner there, that's an 89. Spinning off through turn 3, the long right hander. Now, Gareth is up into second place. Risky, 6 seconds behind him, only has 2.5 laps to gain that. And you've got to imagine that is not going to happen. I don't really understand that strategy. From the Aston Martin, the way I'm seeing it right now, he's just throwing away a P2. And luckily, Jordan out of DRS behind, so he's not going to have a chance, because I imagine once those softs warm up, he will absolutely bolt from Jordan in the AlphaTauri. So yeah, I'm a little bit confused as to the strategy call, although the gap is down now to 4.9. Maybe, I mean, he could maybe get the fastest lap, but you lose more points from second to third than you gain from getting the fastest lap. So yeah, I'm really not sure here, unless he thinks he can gain that 4.5 seconds in 2 laps. I mean, he's gained a lot there, and these tyres are just going to continue to get worse and worse. So let's see. I don't know. He could definitely prove me wrong. Well, we've got 2 laps to find out. We'll go on board with Risky for this lap. I imagine this will be an attempted fastest lap, and oh, that's not what you want to be doing. That is really not what you want to be doing on your fast lap attempt. nearly binning it. But he's got to push. He needs to try and get this P2 back. But look at the rotation he's got on these softs. This is really, really good for Risky. 4 seconds now to find on Gareth, who has 52% ERS, so he will be able to defend if Risky does catch up to the back of him. You know, we have seen Risky does have very good straight on speed here. And oh, Risky, he just looks to be pushing a little bit too hard now. He's not going to gain that gap. He's 3.6 seconds behind. But starting the final lap, Albert. One more lap to go to claim his first victory of the season. It could definitely have happened in Silverstone, but it wasn't quite meant to be. And now it looks like it finally is going to happen here in round 3. Some nice rhyming there for you. So 31.5, it's not a good lap. Not even a PB for the Aston Martin. Too many mistakes on that lap. Does it better this time round. 2.8 to go between these two. And Hot Speed, in fact, is right on the back of Ryan Berry. He could go for a move for it here into turn 1. Did he go round the outside? Ryan Berry has damage there on the front left end plate. And oh, he's locked up into the corner. I think that's caused a little bit of contact. It has, and Ryan Berry holds him off for now. 4/10 of the gap. Risky, 2.2 to Gareth. So unless Gareth makes a mistake here, you've got to feel Gareth has this P2 in the bag. Good apex there. He's pushing, and he's on a better lap here, but I think it's going to be one lap too late for the Aston Martin. As he's not going to get DRS to the final zone. Very nearly did, but it's not quite going to be. But here comes Albert out the final corner here in Miami to win here in round 3. What a race win, and what a race for him. After having a rough first lap, he gains it all back and wins the Miami GP. So really, 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 really good drive from him. It's going to be Gareth coming home for a unexpected P2, I think is the way I'm going to put it. And Risky, surely going to be disappointed. He had a P2 in the bag. He's going to get 3rd instead. Jordan with a great comeback drive for 4th. Acorn, kind of a very good defensive drive, but in that second half, I haven't really seen too much of him. He's going to come in for a solid P5. And here comes across the line now. Hot Speed did get past Ryan Berry, so Hot Speed snatching on the final lap, P6. That's going to be his finishing position. Ryan Berry hitting the wall somewhere on the end of that race there, coming home in P7. Ryan P8, Y Racer P9. Haslager here, the championship leader, although I don't think he'll be leading the championship anymore. He's going to be really disappointed with this. It's going to be P10 for him. There's a new Garden in an 89 high cross the line in 11 and 12. But it's Haslager, the final man to cross the line into the final corner. And across the line, Haslager comes home for P10 with a 29.4 and the fastest lap to finish off the race. But it is Albert who claims his first win of the season and really steps up his title charge. You have to imagine Risky getting driver of the day. I'd say that is deserved. He has had a very, very solid race here. But here comes the Alpine man onto the podium. Albert, he really didn't put a foot wrong after that opening lap. He come back really, really well. And he can celebrate the full 25 points as he raises the trophy, does he? No, he just puts it straight down. And they are spraying the champagne. Gareth P2. That's his best result of the season. And Risky P3. Aston Martin's first points, his first points. So you can't be disappointed with that, but you've got to feel P2 was pretty much in the bag. And when you through the rest of the grid, Jordan coming home for P4. It doesn't look that's exactly the 4th to 4th, but what a comeback drive for him, doing 2 stops with a front wing change. Acorn 5th. Hot speed from 12th to 6th, so really, really good from him. Ryan Berry 7th, similar story. Ryan in the Mercedes, P8. Y-Racer 9th, Haslager with the fastest lap, but disappointing for him. P10, and Newgarden and Haslager, N89, sorry, both a lap down, coming home for 11th and 12th. No DNF, so that is a positive, I guess, and N89 picking up the only penalty of the race, but a very exciting race here in VSL Tier 2 for the Miami GP. Join us next week for another bunch of action. I'm not too sure what track we have, but yeah, same time, same place next week. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a good rest of your week.